Well, good evening, everyone. Thought I'd give everyone an update on what is going on tonight with our severe weather potential. And thankfully, it's not going to be anything like we are seeing in Oklahoma. And I'll kind of go over that in just a second. But it has been quite the day weather-wise. It started out about 49 degrees at sunrise this morning, and now we're at 72. As you can see at my house, 71 now. Winds have really started to pick up, gusts close to 30 miles an hour. That will probably increase a little bit more between now and when the storm system moves through on tomorrow morning. Actually, most of the storms will move through between now and about 1 a.m., 2 a.m., something like that. We'll kind of go over the timing here in just a second. Well, as a matter of fact, we'll just go over that timing right now. All right, so what we're looking at in the short term, and I'll show you the radar here in just a second, is that we're looking at line of storms. Could be a broken line of storms moving through between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. Obviously, the further west you are around 11, the further east you are around 2 a.m. Again, we've seen a lot of damage in Oklahoma, western Texas, the Panhandle. We saw a wind gust of 114 miles an hour in Memphis, Texas, in the Panhandle. That's the biggest storm gust I saw. We won't see anything like that here. But we will see something, we'll see winds gustier than we want them to be with these line of storms. I don't think we're going, as I said, I don't think we're going to see, a true derecho type event. And if you don't know what that is, that's a long-lived squall line that has winds in excess of 70 miles an hour. We've definitely seen that. I'm going to show you some of that storms right now in just a second. But I just don't anticipate that happening here, at least to that extreme. And as I talked about this morning, our capping inversion will save us somewhat. But I don't think it's going to hold, and I don't think it's going to prevent everything from coming through, or at least some things from coming through. I think we are going to see some rather strong storms move through here, Dallas-Fort Worth between 11 and 2. Now, again, will they meet severe criteria? That remains to be seen, but we'll kind of break that down. All right, so let's go ahead and move over. Let's show you the radar. Let's show some radars. Everybody likes a good visual, right? All right, so this is the current radar, and as you can see, just to kind of orient you here a little bit, Dallas-Fort Worth proper right there. Of course, that's Dallas-Fort Worth there, so it kind of gives you an idea of where we're at in relation to the storms. And as I mentioned, at least in this part of the world, being Texas, you have this line of storms right here. And it's a broken line, so it's not a solid line. That wasn't totally unexpected because, again, we have a capping inversion down our way. And then we also have, the dynamics of the storm are really more in Oklahoma, so we don't have all the ingredients to have a really bad event like to do up in Oklahoma, but we have enough to be concerned about, at least a little bit. So we did have one severe thunderstorm warning here. I believe that is, which county is that? That's going to be Stevens County. So that particular warning, well west of Dallas-Fort Worth, 60 mile an hour winds. That's what they're warning that for, quarter-size hail. So I don't think that's certainly not in the extreme that we've seen in Oklahoma. And speaking of that, let's do a bigger view here. So I wanted to show you this. So the red is a tornado watch, does not include Dallas-Fort Worth. But you can kind of see up in Oklahoma City area, you see a bunch of red polygons that they're definitely dealing with some tornado spin-ups up there. I say spin-ups not to minimize that, but again, they're mainly dealing with a wind event. I don't even know if it's going to be classified ultimately as a derecho, but we'll see. But in the meantime, they're definitely dealing with the worst of the weather. And you can see the yellow polygons up in Oklahoma. That's severe thunderstorm warnings for 70 mile an hour winds and higher. And so that is something that they're definitely going to have to deal with in Oklahoma. And to a lesser extent, we'll have to deal with in North Texas. All right, so let's get some other graphics back up here real quick. And I do see your comments. I'm going to get to those in just a second, so bear with me. So again, we are going to see gusty winds with this storm, no matter if it technically storms in your neck of the woods tonight or not. But we're already seeing that. Like I said, we're seeing wind gust over 30 miles an hour. So we're thinking that peak wind gusts could be closer to 40, 50 miles an hour, even if it's not thunderstorm related. So that's just something that just want to keep in mind between now and sunrise tomorrow. If you have any secure or loose items, just secure those. Obviously, if you do get a storm overnight, then it definitely has a chance to be windy, and that's going to be the biggest threat is the wind with these storms. And just wanted to pop up the Storm Prediction Center's website just to kind of give you an idea again where most of the action is. As you can tell, it's in Oklahoma. They have a moderate risk of severe storms, and it has definitely come to fruition, that's for sure. But as you can see, when you get closer to North Texas, we're barely in the marginal risk category. So that's good news. We're not expecting to see anything really bad here. But again, I wanted to come on and let you know that it's not out of the question that we would see a severe thunderstorm roll through Dallas-Fort Worth between now and 2 a.m. So just want to make you aware of that. Okay, hello Andrew, Harley, Paula, Angela. Good to see y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in here. If you have any questions, just pop them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer those. Let me check my YouTube channel. If you don't know, I do stream to Facebook and YouTube. I don't see anything over on YouTube channel. So anyway, so again, most of the action is up in North Texas. So up in Oklahoma. It's not in North Texas, thankfully. So that is good news. All right, so let's check the radar here. I don't know that we've had any warnings. Any more warnings other than the one in northern Stevens County, which again is about 3 counties over from Dallas, about 2 counties over from you, Angela. Hello, Brenda. How are you? You are welcome, Brenda. It is. I would expect this line. I would be shocked if this line does solidify a little bit, and I think that's something that we'll just kind of have to watch because if you over the next hour or two, and I get it, most of us might be in bed. Might be asleep by the time this line moves through. I may be one of them, although of course I wouldn't stay asleep for long. It would definitely wake me up. But it is something that we just want to keep in mind. Again, we're not going to see anything like we've seen in Oklahoma, but it is something that we definitely just want to keep an eye on. I don't think it's anything to be overly concerned about. Yes, Angela, it is always fun in Trophy Club. With this whole scenario, Angela, as you're probably aware, the further west you are, the worse it is. So if you feel like taking the brunt for us, that's fine. Just kidding, of course. I guess the other thing I should say is right now, there are no watches for North Texas. There are no warnings, certainly, for North Texas. So that's good news right now. Not out of the question that there could be, but I haven't seen any indication from the Storm Prediction Center or from the Weather Service office in Fort Worth that they're thinking about that. Well, I guess it's not really true. They're definitely, looking at things, but it doesn't seem to be anything that's imminent at the moment. Paula, is it time to put up the balcony chairs, 3rd floor? Yeah, I would. I did just in case. Because if you don't put them up, then we'll get a lot of wind. If you do put them up, then we won't get anything. So let's just go with that. But in all seriousness, yes, I would. But it's definitely going to be windy. Like I said, it might not even be related to a quote-unquote thunderstorm, but it's definitely going to be windy. So I would if I were you. So like I said, again, no watches, no warnings for anywhere around Dallas-Fort Worth. And like I said, the closest warning, if you will, as you can see on the screen. I'll zoom in on that just a little bit. See if we can't get just a little bit closer view of that. And my computer, there we go. So like I said, so about 2 counties over. Let's see, Angela, Aaron's flight is back to Albuquerque, had to fly down to Austin. Oh wow! Right turn to get around the winds. Nothing like a late night wander through Southwest Texas. Yes, that is true. There is nothing like a late night wander. But certainly glad that she was okay with all that. That's for sure. Better to be safe than sorry. That's for sure. Hey Charles, looks like the storms are west of us. Yes, they are west of us. That will not be the case forever tonight. That will be something that we'll be watching if you're just tuning in. That is, again, we're thinking about anywhere on the western side of Dallas-Fort Worth being on the 11 o'clock time frame, on the east side of Dallas-Fort Worth, 2 a.m. So just keep that in mind. And I haven't put these, just thought about this, I haven't put these storms in motion, or this radar in motion, I should say. So this will give you all an idea of what kind of motion we're looking at here. Let's see. And that should get going here. While it's doing that, let's see, I'll check the comments. Yeah, Paul and Angela, y'all aren't too far away. I definitely would say your neighbors. So let's see. Okay, I think the radar is finally getting its act together here. So just want to put this in motion, give you an idea of, they are moving pretty quick, about 50 miles an hour, sometimes 60 miles an hour to the east, northeast. And again, this radar is loading really slow. So we will get there in just a second here. There we go. So again, I guess you could say the main mean motion is east. So again, if you extrapolate this out, you're looking at, again, on the west side of Fort Worth, 11 p.m. on the east side of Dallas. It might be even somewhere around 2 a.m. Now, that's a big spread. It's not going to take 3 hours for the storms to go from Fort Worth to Dallas, of course. We just got a warning coming up here, so let's stop that. Looks like we have a new warning. I'm going to go to the other radar here. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. All right, so we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see, that's going to be, should be Palo Pinto. Let's put this over here. Yeah, northern Palo Pinto County until 10:30. So a little bit closer to home. 60 mile an hour wind gusts, quarter size hail are the hazards they're anticipating. So again, I've said this many times. Thankfully, even though it is a severe thunderstorm warning, basically that's meeting the minimum criteria for a severe thunderstorm warning. 60 mile an hour winds, technically 57, and quarter size hail, that's inch in diameter. So that is something that is the lowest end criteria, if you will, for a severe thunderstorm warning. So not great that it's severe, but then again, it's on the low end of severe. So hey, we'll take all the good news we can get. So that's the storm. You know, if it were to hold together in its current form, which it won't exactly do that. Again, that would kind of meet the 11 o'clock time frame for Dallas-Fort Worth. And I'm going to switch back to this other radar. I can get this. Yeah, here we go. So what I would say, get my drawing tool to work. So that would be something along these lines. Right there. And I don't know, there's not, oh, let's put it, you know what, let's put a tracker on here. Let's see what we got. And you know what, the other thing I'm going to do is switch radars, because it was on the Dyess Air Force Base radar in Emily, and let's just look at the Fort Worth radar. That would be a lot better. Once it loads up here, and of course everything wants to slow down when I'm streaming, but that's pretty typical for streaming. Alright, so while it's doing that, okay, so I'm going to let that load. I'm going to switch back over to this radar and see if we can't get, how fast was that going? Let's see, moving east at 50 miles an hour. So that's pretty typical, pretty fast if you think about almost interstate highway speeds. So if we go back to this radar, and it is still loading, that is crazy. All right, well, we'll get there in a second, I guess. All right. While it's doing that, we'll go back to this radar, I guess. I don't know if we could put this one in motion, but let's see what we got here. Maybe we can. We'll see how long this one takes to load up. Beauty of technology when you're wanting to stream. And there we go. Okay, so it's gives you a little bit better idea how fast these storms are moving. So when these radar frames in motion fill in, I think you'll get a better idea. Hey, Kara. Yes, we do have a wind advisory till 2 a.m. Will the winds die down tomorrow? Yes, they will die down tomorrow, Kara. Now, I would say it depends on what your definition of die down is. We'll see winds 10 to 20 miles an hour. I mean, it'll definitely be breezy. It's not like we're not going to have any wind, but it definitely would. It'd be breezy, but it won't be anything like it is right now. So that's the good news. So yes, they are going to die down. And as you can see from the radar in motion here, like I said, these storms are moving pretty quick, about 50 miles an hour. So that gives you the extrapolation time of about 11 p.m. So we're going to go ahead and stop this radar here. I'm going to advance it to the last frame. We do see some pink there, and we do have a hail marker here. Now again, doesn't necessarily mean this size hail is reaching the ground, but 0.59 inches or 0.6 inches in diameter, so not even quite the inch that the Weather Service. But again, the inch reason they issued the warning was because they do indicate that it could be an inch on the ground, so that's why they do that, which is obviously the smart thing to do. Yeah, breeze is good, Kara. That's right. These winds are noisy. Yes, it won't be quite as it won't be quite as noisy tomorrow. Thank goodness. And actually, tomorrow will be a really nice day. So it's and more. It won't be cold. It'll be probably in the 70s. So we get through this little episode, we'll be fine. Okay, so let's zoom in on this storm just a little bit because it's as I like to say, it's got too much color to it, i.e. purple. We don't like that. All right, so let's zoom in here a little bit. Let's get a better flavor for what's going on. All right, so let's look at some different layers here. Right. Let's see if we can't get the hydrometer classification on here. Yeah, okay, so the yellow indicates hailstones, so that's not terribly surprising considering the reflectivity signature on it. So definitely got some hail in this one. So again, from a reference standpoint, I'm just gonna let me do this. Yeah, so this is Mineral Wells right here. So again, one county over from Fort Worth, from Tarrant County, and again these are moving at 50 miles an hour. So it is something that will not take terribly long to get to your area, especially if you're Fort Worth. So I would say if you live anywhere along the I-35W corridor, i.e. Paula and Angela, then keep an eye on this storm. It is I wouldn't call it a dangerous storm at this point, but it's definitely got some hail in it, so and some winds. So we definitely want to make sure we pay attention. Make sure we pay attention to that. All right, so let's take that off, and okay, the hail of course died down just a little bit. We'll look at the velocity here, which I don't expect to really see anything. Of course, the velocity layer will let you know if there's any rotation going on. And yeah, in this storm, it's getting close to the outside of the radar range for a good velocity signature, but or scan. But again, nothing there at all, which again, I'm not surprised. And again, we don't have that type of instability and what we call helicity in our neck of the woods. But it is something that's, you just in this kind of environment, again, the dynamics of this system are very strong. So that's why it's just got to keep our eye out on things like this. Especially these type storms. And as I mentioned, we have a cap. Excuse me, we have a cap over us, and I would say this: it's one of those things that, and I'll put this in motion so you can kind of get a better idea. It is while that loads up, I think the cap will definitely help us. It's a pretty decent cap. It's not the strongest cap ever. It's not the weakest cap ever either. But I just have a little bit of concern about these storms maybe holding together just a little bit more than we think. But right now, everything's kind of playing out like we thought. We thought that the storms would be rather intense west of Dallas-Fort Worth, and as they moved into Dallas-Fort Worth, they would start to weaken a little bit. And so far, that is definitely the trend. But I guess I'm just one of those guys to where when the atmosphere is this, dynamically unstable, if you want to say that, then they tend to blow through caps sometimes. So if it does, not saying it will, but it definitely has the ability to do that, as opposed to other systems like we had the other last week or week and a half ago, to where we had a decent chance for storms, but the capping version in that case held all the way. We didn't really have anything in North Texas, so I don't think it's that type of system, a situation today, because the cap is much stronger, or the system is much stronger today than the system was a couple of weeks ago. So I think that's why we have a chance anyway to see the cap bust, but we shall see. Okay, well, finally the radar wants to go in motion. So you can see the general storm motions to the east, and this particular storm, this severe thunderstorm warned for northern Palo Pinto County, is moving east about 50 miles an hour. So you can see these little circles that's trailing behind it. There is some hail markers. This is radar indicated. So you do see these hail markers. So it's definitely something that we definitely want to keep an eye on, especially as it gets closer to Dallas-Fort Worth. And we'll look at the storm tracker on this one and see what we got. Moving east at 60. Oh, okay, this one's sped up. East at 65 miles an hour, 64. Hail probability 60%. Severe hail probability, which again, inch or larger, 20%. So not great. Right now they're just seeing max hail size of half an inch, so that's not even severe. And the DBZ, which is a measure of rainfall intensity, is 65 DBZ. So that's decent. And there's a little bit of a meso circulation with it, but not anything to be terribly concerned about at the moment. And again, that's probably more of a mid-level rotation than anything else. All right, so I think that's probably it for now. Hey Amy, yes, I hope the cap holds. I do too. I just don't think it's going to hold all the way, as you can tell. But even if it doesn't hold all the way, then that is something that it's a good thing, because it doesn't have to hold all the way to protect us. Even if it holds a little bit, these storms could be weaker than they normally would be without a cap at all. So we're definitely wanting that. All right, so I think that'll be about it for this particular update. And just to be honest, hopefully the storms will behave and I won't need to do another update, but I will be standing by for that. And last but not least, I did just want to show one more graphic here about later in the week. So we are getting indications on Thursday that will be our next chance for severe weather. We're not done with this one yet by any means, of course, but just kind of want to give you a little heads up. Thursday looks a little more dicey for us than it did in this particular situation. Again, we're not done with this one yet, but just a little heads up. Thursday is probably our next day for potential strong thunderstorms. Way early to talk about specifics, but just kind of keep that in the back of your mind for Thursday, and I'll be watching it, of course, as always. All right, so I don't really see any, I don't think I missed any other comments. I don't see any other comments there, so that's good. And let me check YouTube channel. And again, if you don't follow me on YouTube, you can definitely do that if that is your social media channel of choice. All right, so that is all I see right now at the moment. Okay. All right, so I can't really seem to get to my, let's try this. There we go. All right. Well, as always, I'm watching the weather, so you don't have to. If these storms get a little more robust between now and midnight, then I will definitely come back on. But right now, no watches, no warnings. Hopefully that will stay just like it is, and then we will have a somewhat calm night, all things considered. Hope everyone has a great evening. Thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you soon.